Welcome back to 843 TV. Now we are in the Discovery Lab here at the Coastal Discovery Museum, and we've got Rex, who is the museum director. You've got a really awesome job.
I do.
Yes, and he's going to share with us what happens in the lab here and about the amazing creatures that we have. I'm excited to do this with you.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite places at the museum because it's full of life.
It literally is full of life. So you were showing me around a little bit earlier. You've got a lot of reptiles and amphibians. We're going to take a little stroll and talk about that and how the community can be involved with that as well.
Yeah, so
yes.
great. I mean, so we have a program here that we do weekly, Reptiles and Amphibians, that teaches kids about these animals. And it's great because a lot of kids are afraid of snakes and lizards and adults too. But we are very careful about how we introduce people to these animals because they're really fascinating. And so we have the anoles, we have tree frogs, we have pond turtles, diamondback terrapins that live in the salt marshes here. They're the only turtle that lives in the salt marshes, and so they're a brackish water species, and so they're really cute and also interesting scientifically.
Yeah.
And we try and expose kids to these animals so they learn how to live in harmony with nature. And that's one of the things that I think is a founding principle of Hilton Head Island, and is also a great thing for us to teach all the school kids that come here.
So you've got school kid field trips. What about those who might be on vacation? Visiting?
Yeah, you know, so we have about 10,000 school programs for kids that we do a year. And we also get lots of families coming in. And so if you go onto our website or look at our seasonal calendar, a lot of things will be marked family friendly. So those programs we really try and design so that they're fun for adults as well as for kids. And it's something the whole family can do together. And so we serve lots and lots of tourists. In the summer, when we build up to our hands-on programs where we have alligators and snakes and chickens and all of those animals outside and people can hold them and get their photographs taken. That program brings lots of tourists, but also family that's here visiting, parents or grandparents. They bring their kids out. And I think that's given us the misconception that we're just a kids museum, but we really have tons of programs for adults too. And so we do all of that.
So much to explore. So we're going to start right here in the lab. Let's talk about some of the creatures you've got in the tanks here and learn a little bit about those.
Okay, yeah, and so, you know, the Carolina anole here, let's see if we can see one. They're hiding from us now. You know, those are the lizards that are all around people's houses. And one of the great things you asked about the tourists when they're visiting the property, I see them out with their kids all the time, and the kids want to catch the anoles, and I direct them to our butterfly habitat because we want to catch all the anoles that get into our butterfly habitat and bring them back out because it's a buffet for the anoles. They go in there and they eat our butterflies. And so I take the kids in there, I'm like, go ahead, catch the anoles and bring them outside. And so they're a really interesting animal and really beautiful. And then, of course, we have the tree frogs, and they're hiding up here in the corner.
Oh, there they are. Those are the guys I see on my window at night sometimes.
Yeah, when it rains and you have lights on, they are on your glass doors and windows because the lights in your house are attracting all the insects.
Now I understand why they're there.
That is the tree frog buffet that you've provided. But they also like to live around our houses because we have irrigation. So when it's dry, they have to keep their skins moist in order to breathe. And so our irrigation systems and our watered plants around our houses are the perfect habitat for tree frogs. And so they like to live in harmony with us.
See how much we're learning here at the Discovery Museum.
And then, you know, these yellow-bellied sliders. These are the turtles that you'll see in the lagoons and golf courses sunning themselves to warm up their bodies because they're cold-blooded. And in order to digest and metabolize, they need to heat up their bodies in the sun. And so these are animals that we really like to show kids up close because they're so beautiful. If you look underneath them,
the detail is amazing, isn't it?
Are fascinating. And we don't want people trying to catch them in the wild. So we have habituated animals here that people can see up close. And that's sort of the tagline for Coastal Discovery Museum.
Yeah,
is
sure.
Discover the Lowcountry
Absolutely.
up close.
Leave it alone in nature.
Leave it alone in nature, but
Yeah.
come here to see it up close.
Yes.
And then the diamondback terrapins, and we have a large diamondback terrapin in the main museum called Myrtle the turtle. And she was raised in captivity in a freshwater tank, but they're not a freshwater species, so she can't be released into the wild. But these diamondback terrapins here are being raised in brackish water, which is their natural habitat. And for the first time ever this year, I was out in our salt marsh and saw one of these in the wild. They're a threatened species because for a long time they were hunted for food. Turtle soup that was made from diamondback terrapins. And that's no longer permitted. They can't be harvested, and they're recovering in our marshes here, which is a great story that if we change our behavior, we actually can impact the environment and have it return to where it should be.
Yeah. So much to learn, but we're going to take a break
Yes.
and we'll be back. So you stay right here. We'll be back here in the lab.